If you have never considered putting strawberries in your garden, I hope that this video changes your mind. And if you have strawberries in your garden, or you want to start putting strawberries in your garden, I think this strawberry series that we're going to do is going to be fantastic. Hi, I'm Sonia with Suburban Gardening, and today we're going to go over the absolute simple things that need to be done to get strawberries started in your garden. I like to put strawberries in my raised bed. I like to put them in my flower beds and in pots. And the great thing about pots is I can move them all around the garden and they can get sun or light or whatever that they need. Have you ever been to, Home Depot, one of the hardware stores, or maybe even a big box store, and you came across something that looked like this? It's a bag and it has, the strawberry label on the front, and you thought, wow, that might be kind of cool to have in my garden. I can absolutely assure you that it will be very cool to put in your garden, and I want to show you how to do it. Now, the reason this is going to be a two-series video session is because I want to show you how you can propagate these things. It's so simple. You are going to end up with so many strawberry plants, and the really neat thing about strawberries is that the strawberries are better and better on new plants. So we always want to try to get new plants out there every year. Now, that said, I have some strawberries in pots. I could take you over there right now. They've got little strawberries on them, and they just produce all year long. It just must be my climate. We're going to talk about the chilling part that you need for these strawberries, and we're going to just talk about the kind of soil we need to put them in. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pot them up so the roots really start taking, and then in about a month when I'm ready to put them out into the garden, they are going to be charged up and ready to go. There are 3 different types of strawberries that I'd like to talk about today, only because they're the most popular. These are the ones that you're going to find at your nurseries and the box stores and so on. So there's June bearing, and a June bearing strawberry is usually a pretty large strawberry, but it brings its crop just right at the beginning of the summer, and pretty much you don't get any more fruit after that. An everbearing is the one I really like. I have them all over the garden, and that will bring you a crop in the early spring and then in the summertime. So you'll get 2 different crops out of it. Now, my everbearing, they bear all year long. Even in January this time, I was getting a couple little strawberries. So I like those because when I'm out here working in the garden, I can have a little snack on my strawberries. Now, the day neutrals, they also bear all through the seasons, but they're much smaller, and I just don't see those out in the nurseries very much. Usually it's June bearing or everbearing. So you can decide which one you want. I think they're both beautiful, and they both give pretty nice strawberries. The one I have right here, this one right here I picked up at the nursery because I wanted you guys to get a look at it. This one says that it is a June bearing. So this one is going to go ahead and give me all kinds of fruit right at June, and I'm sure we'll eat them all up before we can even make a pie or anything. Now, this one here that I picked up at Home Depot, this is an everbearing, and this is the kind that I like to see in my raised beds, but also in my hanging baskets. And I plant these in pots because strawberries don't have very, very deep roots. So they do very well in pots, and you can dress your patios up and all sorts of nice things. These are beautiful plants when they start to grow and get bigger. When I was at the Home Depot, they had these wonderful strawberries, and I thought how fun it would be to put more strawberries in the garden. So basically, it's a bag attached to a cardboard that doesn't give you a whole lot of information. So we'll go over that today so there won't be any misconceptions. But the one thing that strawberries need is they need a chilling time, and I would give them at least 4 weeks of chilling time. Now, right now, our lows are 45 degrees. Perfect time to put the strawberries out in the garden for chilling. Now, I've looked at my strawberries around the garden, and they're already starting to come to life. Last week, we had temperatures, lows in the high 50s, highs in the 80s. So everything in my garden woke up, and now they think it's spring. But we're going back down into very low 40s, very low 60s, some 50s. But they'll be perfectly fine. This is what they need. And basically just take this off, look over it for sure. It might give you a little information, But what we're going to do now, I'm just going to pour this out so you can see what's in the bag and separate them and show you the best way to go from here. As I'm looking at these beautiful strawberries, well, these beautiful strawberry roots, I can tell that they're in pretty good shape. Look, we've already have one that's trying to grow a stem. So that's a very good sign. And check your dirt. This dirt is not wet, but it's still kind of moist. So that's what these strawberries are going to be wanting while they're chilling and while they're getting ready. So let's pull these out and see if we can get a look at them. So here's one. There should be 10, 2, 3, wow, 4, nope, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There should be another one. Oh, here it is. And 10. Sometimes you get lucky and you get 11. Now, I'm not going to discard this soil. I am going to discard these roots. Oh, look. There's 11. There's a teeny tiny one. It'll probably grow. I'm going to add this to the potting mix that I already have ready, and we are going to put them in some pots to get them started. I'm going to get these off to the side, and I'm going to incorporate this soil into my potting mix. Make sure that your potting mix is not dry. I don't like it to be soaking wet, but it needs to have moisture in it. If it's dry and you go to water it, all of the water is going to come right out the bottom of the pot, and then this strawberry, these strawberry roots are going to die. Now, I want to show you something. This is what they call a 4-inch can, so it's about a 4-inch pot. This is a yogurt container. Now, I'm going to use both of them today. As long as you poke holes in the bottom of that yogurt container, they do the exact same thing. So if you don't have a bunch of cans that you purchase from a nursery someplace, no worries. Find what you've got around the house, poke a hole in the bottom, and you can get on your way. This is easy stuff. The very first thing I need to do with these strawberry roots is I need to soak them. Now, these guys, they might be a little bit dehydrated, I'm not sure, or dried out. But the best thing to do to get these guys a really good start in life is to get them into some water. Now, I recommend soaking them for about 4 hours. So that's exactly what we're going to do, even the little guy. And that way, they'll get all plumped up and ready when they get down into that soil to take up the nutrients and start growing. It's been about 4 hours, about 4.5 hours, and I need to get these guys out of here so I can get them in the soil. So all I'm going to do is just reach in there and get them out. Yeah, this is going to make such a big difference on how they grow. Get my hand way down in there. Okay, I think I have them all. Now, I'm not throwing away this water. I'm going to use this water to water the pots when I'm finished. All right, now I need to dry my hands off. It's a little cool out here. That was a little cold job I had going on. All right. I'm so excited to see these strawberries get going, and I'm so excited to show you guys how to propagate these strawberries. It's just wonderful. These guys are a little soaking wet, but they'll be happy. Now, the way that you tell which way's up and which way is down is all of these roots are on the bottom, of course. And then you can tell up here, there's some old foliar up here. So that's going to stick out. Most important thing about a strawberry plant, you want to keep this top of this strawberry, it's called the crown, out of the soil because it will suffocate the plant. So I'm just going to put in some of my nice soil. This is brand new potting soil, and I know it already has nutrients in it. It's very good potting soil, and it's going to be perfect. So I'm just going to set it down in there, holding up the crown so I won't get get it down inside the dirt. Leave plenty of room for watering. And there you go. Let's get him uncovered. There. Now he is sticking up out of the soil. Make sure it's better to bury them with a little less dirt than a little more. So you can always put some more in there later. I can put my hand down in here and feel that crown so I can tell that it's right there at the top of the soil. One down. Now what I've already done is I went through and I made my tags. So I'll know what this is, and I even put the date on here. That way I won't forget what they are. Sometimes they all start to look the same when they don't have any leaves on them yet. Next thing I want to do is just pot up these that I got in the 6-pack. And the reason why I want to do it is exactly the same reason why I did the others. As you can see, the roots are starting to fill up the 6-pack cell. So I want these roots to spread out, because the more they spread out, the more nutrients they get and the bigger this plant's going to be. Do you see it already has a little flower? So it's absolutely the same application that we always do. Really good soil. We're only going to put the plant right up to the soil, exactly on this soil line right here. Leave plenty of room for watering. And always make sure you put a tag. I do this to myself all the time. I forget to put the tags in, and then I'm out in the garden thinking, now what variety was this? So this year I made a pact with myself. I am going to put tags on everything. It'll look like a little arboretum when I'm finished. Okay. Keep the soil line exactly the same as it was. If you have to take some out, that's perfectly okay. I have to do that a lot. Okay, now we got our tags, and we're ready to go. This one is a June bearing, and this one is an everbearing. And just to know how my plants are doing in the garden, I'd really like to know which one's which, so I know if one needs fertilizer, or if one doesn't, or one needs to be moved into the sun, or you get the drift. It always feels really good to get these garden chores done. I absolutely love it. I mean, I love putting things in dirt. I quite frankly like dirt, but just getting these in the dirt in these little pots, I know these roots now have more nutrients, they have more space, and they're just going to start getting bigger and bigger. This is one of the little strawberries that I had out in the garden. Now, this is a perfect example. There is no tag on here. I have no idea if it's June bearing, everbearing, or what. What I do know is it's extremely hardy in my neighborhood. This came from one of the cuttings, or actually one of the rootings, that I did last year. So basically this is a free plant. And now that the weather's getting better, it's just going to grow like crazy. It already has 4 potential strawberries on it. So sweet. Look, these little flowers are so cute. So the next video that you're going to see, number 2, it's going to show you how to put them in the ground, like how I'm going to plant these in pots, how I'm going to put them in a rose bed. And when these guys start making runners, basically the runners are just, stems that come off, and they're like little free plants on these runners. And I have a wonderful way to get a hold of these runners and have them grow into beautiful strawberry plants. Remember, strawberry plants like to be transitioned every couple of years or every year. So if you can grab those runners and make plants out of them, more free strawberries and more free strawberry plants. It's been so much fun being out here in the garden in the beginning of March. Tomorrow we're going to start getting a rainstorm, and I bet you our weather goes downhill from here for a while. But let's be out in the garden when we can. And this was super fun, and I love sharing these kind of things with you, because a lot of people don't think about putting strawberries in their garden. They think about perennials and they think about annuals, but they forget all about the strawberries. They're beautiful in the garden. Now be sure to subscribe, so when the next video comes out on the rest of how you do your strawberries, it'll pop right up on your YouTube and you won't miss a thing. Thanks you guys so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. So important to keep that. It's so important to keep these roots wet.